Morning or afternoon, persons who's here. I'm Chris. You are talking to me. Hello. And we are in my vineyard. And we are doing the very nice, pleasant job of bud rubbing. So yes, we are in a vineyard, a place that makes wine. This is the plant that makes the wine that you may be drinking. And I'm currently doing a very relaxing job in the sun. The weather's going to change soon, so we kind of need to get this job done. So I'm bringing people with me because I'm new to Twitch. I've been doing Twitch for about 2 weeks now, and we're just bringing people along for the ride. So this is what we are doing. Bit of peace and quiet. So morning, afternoon even. Welcome. We are here in my vineyard and we're chilling. We're doing a very nice, pleasant job today. So we make wine, and these are the plants that make the wine that you drink. And we are currently doing a very important job called bud rubbing. Bud rubbing is getting rid of buds, unnecessary buds. So I'm looking for things where they shouldn't be, and I'm getting rid of them. You're talking to me. Welcome, hello. And this is what we are doing here in the sun in England. Very, very pleasant indeed. So I'm just finding some buds. I'm looking for like kind of pinkishy kind of little things. There's some down here. And I'm getting rid of them because we don't want buds down here. We want buds at the top on the fruiting canes. So I'm just looking for any little bits that seem a waste of energy, and I'm getting rid of them. So for example, this one is below. We probably don't want that. Hello, Minskokira. That is a foreign name, of course. Where is that from? Where are you from? And some little bits in there. Tell me about yourself, because I've got a very chill job. Don't have to focus that much. I'm just looking for little pinky green bits around the plant. Really? So, Germany, haha, but you can call me Minz. That's okay. Awesome, Minz. So obviously, Germany, very famous for wine. Wonderful wine. I love German wine. I'm a huge fan of German wine. So whereabouts of Germany are you from? Unfortunately, my German is non-existent. I never studied German. And I've never been to Germany, actually. But I'm still interested in who's interested in wine. Because we are here to chat very casually about wine. So, tell me about yourself, viewer number one. Let's call you that. Do you want some of these little bits? From the north, Hanover. Great. Cool. And what do you do? Are you a streamer? Are you a viewer? Are you a teenager? Are you an adult? Do you work? Do you have kids? What are you doing in lockdown? I'm going to look at all these little bits over here. Yeah, tell me a bit about yourself. I'm going to keep getting rid of all these little bits. Again, I've never been to Germany, so I'm sorry I don't really know much about it, really. I mean, I learned about, like, the Moselle and all of that in wine school, but not much more. What don't we want? Do we want that? There's one underneath that we don't want. We can keep that. Lots of little birds. Just a viewer. We're only watching the streams with 1 to 5 viewer. They're the nicest. Yeah, I seem to think that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really close. I'm like painfully close to affiliate, which is kind of annoying. The thing is, I just can't get the average viewers up, but that's because I'm doing something niche like wine. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck with my job, but I enjoy my job. I'm not living my best lockdown life, to be honest. Still got to work every day. Yeah, this is technically work for us, so it is quite a nice job. I do some other nasty jobs. So earlier I was writing a newsletter and on the computer and doing all of that stuff, but the weather's going to change in a couple of days, so I am here enjoying the sun whilst it lasts and doing some of the little vineyardy stuff. But yeah, everyone's lives are very different in lockdown. We've got the space, so our vineyard is 5 acres, which is 2 hectares. I don't go out much, because why would I go out when everything's this lovely? So we are chilling and having a lovely time, really. And what do you do? So you're working every day. What's your work? Do I want some of these? That's much wow. Yep, much wow. I'm just looking for those little pink things. This is a really easy job, but it kind of saves us a lot of work later on. So eventually these will all turn into big kind of fruiting canes, but they're much easier to deal with now than later on. So the more work we put in now, so for example, those are unnecessary. I don't need those. Boop, let's pull them off. Easy peasy. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Let's get rid of some of these. So yeah, go on. What work do you do? Is this like school work or is it kind of work? Medical assistant at gynecology. Oh, right, wow. Yeah, medical things very tricky at the moment. Lots of, yeah. I guess, is that pleasant work? I mean, it's very good work. You know, you're doing very good things. Is it the nicest job? Well, I guess not everybody should or has a nice job. Another person, hello, Nemo Ferrari. Welcome. You are talking to me. Hello. I am here in Worcestershire in my vineyard. This is 5 acres. This gives us about 13 tons of grapes, which makes about 10,000 bottles of wine. 7 to 10,000. And the weather's changing soon, so I'm doing a job called bud rubbing. I'm finding things like this. See that? I don't want that. I want it further up, so I'm getting it. Plug it off. That's it. That is the job. Times 10 million. Annoying job. Yeah, everybody's jobs are annoying at some point. My job isn't perfect. It's nice sometimes. It's very not nice other times. But there you go. Wow, how do you manage so many? There's a few of us, so it's my family. It's a family business. There's 4 of us doing it. And we all do, taking in shifts really, we all do different jobs. So I mainly do the marketing and the online and the winemaking. I'm mainly the winemaker. But because it's a nice day and it's really therapeutic, this, I'm in the vineyard just having a bit of fun. So this is what I'm doing, just as a bit of selfish therapy, basically. Really chill. So yeah, but it does take a long time. This is part of like why the job isn't actually as easy, perhaps, as people say. So I'm trying to get some little buds under there. Really, really awkward. Get out. There we go. Gotcha. So yeah, it just takes a long time. But luckily we have a long time to do it. We've got many months before these guys start to do grapes. They've only just started to grow, to be honest. So this is still very early on in the season. So plenty of time to do these little bits and bobs. And also because we don't have any people visiting us and no tourists, even more time. Because normally we do vineyard tours, and that's one of my jobs. I do a lot of vineyard tours here. So yeah, it's just pleasant really. And I'm just showing Twitch a nice relaxed part of the streaming platform and what I do. And there aren't many people doing wine on Twitch, so I thought I would be that one stupid person giving it a go, to be honest. So let's just look in. I can't even imagine keeping a houseplant alive. But actually, you know what? Houseplants are harder than vines. Vines are really easy to look after. A vine will live through anything. You know, we don't water the vines, we don't feed the vines. Actually, they actually grow too much, and you can kind of see this. You know, these are very old vines, and they are growing too much. So you could probably look after these better than a houseplant, because they just look after themselves, which is really good. So yeah, I kind of feel your pain, but again, you could do this actually. It's more about making them struggle a bit, because these guys will just grow forever, and it's just kind of choosing where you put the energy. So that is exactly what I'm doing, is I'm choosing where I want the plant to put its energy. That's interesting. How old are they? So these vines here are actually our oldest. These are about 50 years old. These are 49 years old. No, please ask questions. No, no, this is interactive. I'm here to educate and teach and have a bit of fun. So yeah, these are 49-year-old vines. So these are very old, and for England, like, these are ancient. So we're very proud of these vines. Do I want that one? Let's get rid of that one. So yeah, very old vines, and old vines give good fruit, good concentrated, interesting fruit. And also, like, if vines are hardy anyway, well, these guys are super hardy. These guys will like live through the apocalypse right now in their current state, which is really good. So yeah, do I want that one? Maybe I'll leave that one. That's good. Holy, yeah, 49 years old. So the business is 49 years old as well, but we are brand new owners. So my family bought the business about 3 years ago, just less than 3 years ago, and we have been rebranding. So if you look below the stream, you'll see our Instagram and Twitter and all those bits. So we've rebranded, and we're kind of bringing it into the 21st century, to be honest. I'm trying to work out which one of these do I want. That's far behind. There's a little horse. Somebody like going a horse past there. So yeah, old business, and these are the original vines. These are our kind of flagship interesting vines that we're kind of known for, relatively. So yes, these are the corners, and I'm also doing it because they're quite tall. So I'm 6'2", and these vines are quite high. And obviously, if you're a bit short, they're a bit of a pain. So hence why I can very easily do this. It's at my eye level. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm watching this. I'm underage and can't even drink wine. But you can get into wine. There's plenty of time to get into wine. Wine, and I mean, obviously it's my job, so I'm going to be a bit biased, but wine and alcohol is there to be appreciated and respected and savoured. I don't get drunk. I drink frequently, but I don't drink ever to get drunk. I rarely ever get drunk, because I don't really do it for the getting drunk. I do it for the flavour. I just really enjoy the taste of wine. So hopefully you will feel that way eventually. Again, you know, like when you can drink, enjoy it, go have fun with your friends. But actually, if you enjoy the taste, if you can taste wine really well, then think about it and look at the label and think about what you're buying and kind of go on the website and research. So that's what I do. One day you'll drink wine and hopefully you like it. And if you don't like some beers, some alcohols, just keep trying it. You just haven't found the right one for you yet. All drinks are different, and there will be one that you like. You just need to try it. This might be something stupid. Can you get drunk from wine? Sorry, I'm dumb. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, it's alcohol. So, talking about alcohol percents roughly, beer is the lowest alcohol, and beer is around like 3%, 3, 4, 5%. I mean, obviously some go up. Some of them, I had a 10% beer last night, but roughly you're talking 4% for a beer. And then with wine, you're going anywhere between 9 and 15%. So you can drink a bit less wine, but it's still not that strong. And then you get to liqueurs, and liqueurs they're maybe about 20%. And then you're getting into spirits, and they're anywhere between like 30 to 50%. And then you're starting to get into like neat alcohol, which isn't consumable for humans. So you can get drunk on wine. And I have got drunk on wine, of course I have. But I really do it for the taste. I just really enjoy the flavour of wine, and I hope you do too. Wine is quite expensive. We have very high taxes in our industry, especially in England, very high taxes. But I think it's worth it, really. Do I want to sneeze? I don't want all these. Too many buds. So, where are you from, Nemo Ferrari? Tell me about yourself. Or must I just keep going through all this stuff? Got to be very observant. Are there pests and other animals that eat the plants? So birds, when the grapes get ripe, birds might want to eat them because they're sugary. You know, animals are very good at finding sugar, to be honest. So at certain points in the year, birds might be an issue in some vineyards. Again, we're very lucky that we don't really get pests, and they don't really eat the vines. So every vineyard's different and kind of has different problems and kind of different characteristics. We are all right. But yes, of course, they do. I'm from Hong Kong, China. Oh, excellent. I have some friends in Hong Kong. I studied business and French at university. And when I was in France, I went to an international school. And there are a lot of people from Korea and Hong Kong and China. And funny enough, I actually learned a bit of Chinese. 你好,我中国人. What was my name's Chris? Oh, I forget. Anyway, there you go. That's my little tiny bit of Chinese right there. But yeah, it's good. So, and the thing is, actually, if you're from Hong Kong and China, you guys genetically, because you guys are slightly genetically different from us, you guys can't deal with alcohol quite like we do. Your metabolism and your thank you. Yeah. You will struggle with alcohol. Everyone's different, but maybe you will get drunk very, very quickly on alcohol because your body just can't cope with it. So that is something there. I've never been to China. I've been to Cambodia, Vietnam. I've been to Australia. I've never been to China. Do I want any of those? I think maybe I'll get rid of that one. So, excellent. I'd love to go to China at some point. I'd love to go to Japan and China and do like a big Asian road trip. But it's a very long way, and it's a lot of money, and I'm very busy, and there's a couple of other places I'm holidaying in, so I'll save those. Oh yeah, I'll look at all these. It's like, that's fine. That big one's fine. But that little one down there is a bit unnecessary, so I'm going to get rid of that. And it seems really minor. But this is doing a lot of the job. Well, I did not know that. Again, I can't really find out myself. Yeah, so every human in the world deals with alcohol differently. But Asians have a special tendency to not be very tolerant of it. Your body literally cannot process it like a European does. So that means that you might have one beer, one glass of wine, and feel as drunk as I do after 10 glasses of wine or something. So you don't know until you'll try it. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind, which is potentially quite interesting. But yeah, just wait for alcohol, it's fine. One of those things where you spend a bit more money, and unfortunately you kind of get nicer things. So, when you're young, you won't have much money, so you'll buy some bad stuff. But if you can afford to spend a bit more money, you will get some nice alcohol, and then you'll start to appreciate the taste rather than just getting drunk. Oh, I've got 3 people watching. Hello, folks. Let me just show you who's speaking to you. It is me. I'm Chris, and we are here in my vineyard in England, in Worcestershire. I'm currently doing some very, very relaxing work. So these are some vines. This is what makes wine, and they're growing. But the thing is, vines grow very quickly and they grow a lot to buds. So what I'm currently doing is I'm looking for some of these things that I don't want. I'm trying to look for an example for you. Let's move on. Please ask me some questions if you guys want to know about alcohol or wine or anything like that. So you see this one, I want these at the ends on these little bits, these kind of lighter woods. I want them here, but I don't want it there. And these will grow very big, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And that means if there's one less of these guys will get more energy. And so that's just what I'm doing a lot of. So these are all fine. Let's look at these. You see this one down here, that's not in a very good position. So let's get rid of that. We'll put that out of the way. When do you cut them down usually? So you prune in winter. You prune any time. So when you pick the grapes, the vines will know it and they'll go to sleep. And you could technically start pruning then. But you've spent all year pruning and really you just want a break. So what we do is we wait a few months until we're kind of feeling a bit better about life. And then we prune them like January to March. So it takes about 2-3 months to prune all of these. So we are, prune is the right word. Yes, a prune is like kind of cutting down. You prune a rose, you prune a vine. So there's about 4,500 plants here. We do them all by hand. So yeah, it is a lot of work. And what I'm doing now is kind of saving work for later. So the more of this I do right now, the less like other work I'll have to do later. So it looks very simple, but this is really important because this is just a lot easier. And later on, there'll be other jobs to do. So we're doing that. So yeah, it's a lot of work this. We're farmers. Wine is very impressive and fancy and posh, but actually we're still farmers and we do a lot of physical work. My job is I'm the winemaker and I do the branding and I do all of the online stuff as well. So again, you just see all of these, just unnecessary, bad place. I want them to be nice and high and I want them to be pointing up. Or you see I've got 2 here. I'll leave the nice one and I'm going to get rid of the nasty small one, just so the other one gets more energy. I've 1 grape plant in my garden, some Baltic kind that can survive in Sweden. Oh, you're in Sweden, fantastic. My wife is from Finland. My wife is Finnish. So yes, I can kind of imagine. I've never been to Sweden, but I've been to Finland a few times. And yeah, everybody's got a vine somewhere. And I was saying to the person earlier, they said they couldn't look after a garden plant. Well, actually, vines are much easier because they've just got so much energy and they're so resilient that anybody can grow one of these. And a lot of people do grow them. So that's that. This might be a very vague question, but how do you make wine? Yeah, no, it's good. No, exactly. No, this is why I'm on Twitch, because nobody knows about wine. Everybody in the food and drink section is just talking about what they're cooking for dinner and just having to go making bread for the first time. I have a qualification. I worked in a wine shop and I do this as a job, so I have an educated opinion. So the way you make wine is firstly, these will grow grapes in maybe 5 months' time or so. And then all you do is you pick them, you just squash them, and then you'll get grape juice, so like you get in the supermarket and things. And then you add yeast, and what the yeast does, like bread yeast, but there's kind of very specific types for wine. The yeast eats the sugar, and that turns into alcohol, and that's it. And all wine is grape juice plus yeast. Now, there's obviously what type of grapes you grow, and there's like how you do the processing and all of that. But very simply, wine is juice plus yeast, and that's it. Very simple, very simple. So we're very close to finishing some of our wine, actually. Again, I'm doing this because I've got some big jobs coming up. So we've done a first blend of our wines, and that is literally, so you make your various bits of wine, but you never really use them on their own. You kind of use them with their friends and you blend them, you kind of put them together to make the best version of it. So I've made some things. Me and my dad sat down, we had a little taste, and we worked out what was the best way to do it. So we're going to go there and we're going to try them soon to see if we like what we designed. I thought I might need to be fermented. Well, exactly, that is the process of yeast and sugar. That is called fermentation. So yes, fermentation is yeast eating sugar. So yes, it is a fermented thing. Very lovely, relaxing job this, especially in this weather. We've been so lucky with the weather this year. There we go. You got internet. I do, yes, Mr. Average Husband. Average Husband's been following me. So yeah, I did a stream for our regional body yesterday, and because it was going out to a few people and there was another thing going on, I thought, well, I may as well invest in some internet. So I have unlimited data for the next month or so, hence why we're in the vineyard and we're chilling out and we're enjoying this weather. So what I'm currently doing is I'm doing bud rubbing. So what I'm doing is I'm finding little guys like these that aren't necessary. They're either behind, in a bad position, or I'd rather I had somebody else. I'm just going to pull off, and that's it. And this guy here in a totally weird position. Vines will live forever. Vines are super hardy, and so actually it's not a case of looking after them, it's a case of managing them. It's a case of kind of getting them into line and say, don't do that, do this. And that is basically what viticulture is, saying you're too crazy, Mr. Grapevine, be a bit more controlled. So yeah, this is the vineyard. Look at the sky, nothing. So yeah, here we are, having a lovely time in the sun, and I'm just looking for unnecessary bits of growth. Like that one under there was a bit unnecessary. Like this guy here, I mean, look at him go. He's having a great time. Look at how much energy is going into there. Nope, I don't want you, fella. So that's what we do. Did your parents start this, or are you guys did you buy into this vineyard? How old are these vines? So these vines here are some of our oldest. We're in our kind of old block, and this is the block that kind of makes us famous, relatively. These vines here, these are 49-year-old vines. These are very old vines. These are some of the oldest vines in the country. And so yeah, these are very special. And this is kind of what we're known for as a vineyard, these old vines with a really weird variety. And we bought the vineyard. We bought into the vineyard. Let's get rid of this. I've got a choice of 3 here. I've got one at the end. I've got one at the end, and I've got one in the middle. Let's probably go for the one in the middle. Let's get rid of that. And we bought into the vineyard. It was close to us. It was coming at a nice time in our lives. I was already working in wine. We've all got a bit of an entrepreneurial, let's go get it, let's go have a bit of fun. And so we bought the vineyard. So yes, nice old vines, but nothing to do with us. We are managing it now. You know, we own it, we own the name, all of that. But we're trying to bring it into the 21st century and make it into not just a grape growing business, but into like a proper business. And yeah, these are 49-year-old vines, which are rather spectacular. These are Kerner. So if you go onto our website and you go look at Kerner, these are our Kerner vines. Kerner is related to Riesling. Riesling is the parent grape. Most grapes are kind of versions of each other, and kind of like little hybrids and things. These are white. These will make a white wine. So Riesling is a very famous white grape, and Kerner is not a famous white grape, but a very interesting one. So again, lots of unnecessary growth. Picking them off again. Look at this guy. Woohoo! Nope, not for you. Get off. So there we go. Anything, because they grow quite low as well. I'm just kind of showing you where I'm looking. I'm trying to show you where I'm looking. And again, all these little bits and bobs, don't need them. So there we go. These are looking grape. Somebody said that earlier actually, or somebody said something about wine. Hope you're feeling wine. Very good. So yeah, and then this is viticulture. It looks really simple, and to an extent, a lot of what I do and what we do is very simple. You just need to know why you're doing it, and you need to be thorough. Again, it just takes a really long time, this, and a lot of it is about having a good vineyard. It is not about the winemaker. It is not about me in the winery. It is about these guys. If you look after these guys, if you plant them in a very good place, well, the winemaking is really easy. Not everybody has healthy vines like this. We're extremely lucky to have them, so yes, we're very fortunate, and this is just a job that needs doing. Very nice. I'm doing it because the weather's going to change soon. So again, whilst the weather's nice, you can pretty much do anything outside. But as soon as the weather changes, then you've got to be inside, and we won't want to do this. So I'm going to crack on. There's little birds going around, these big oak trees. How did you all learn to take care of the vineyard? So the guy we bought it from, you have to understand that owning a vineyard is not deciding to be a money maker. You're not doing something easy. You're not doing something that is like, it's just not an easy job. So all the people that go into it really care about it. You know, these are their babies. This is their life. You know, the guy before us was here for 25 years. He was selling wine, and you know, he was vaguely connected with this. You know, people knew his name. And so when we were trying to buy the vineyard, it wasn't a case of, oh, you've got the money. It was a case of, so what are you going to do with it? Are you allowed to buy it? And there's a big song and dance about what are your values? Like, what are you going to do with the vineyard? What do you think about the trees? What do you think about the bunny rabbits and things? And so when he let us buy it, and it was a case of him letting us buy it, he taught us because he wanted to hand it over in the best way possible. And so he stayed here for a bit, and he taught us everything he knew. So we are gardeners. We're very kind of green people. You know, my parents aren't afraid of plants. You know, they're pretty good at plants anyway. There's a lot here. I'm trying to work out which one do I want. These are all very close to each other, and let me get rid of that one. It's a bit of a weakling, and that one's a bit of a weakling as well. So just a lot of reading. Again, I know theory from my course because I did a qualification, so I do know technically some theory about this, but obviously doing and theory, it's very different. Let's get rid of that one. Do you plant other stuff on the land? We don't. No, this is just a vineyard. These are all, I mean, they're different types of vines. There's mainly four different grape varieties, but this is pretty much just a vineyard. We've been planting some bits in between the rows, not here, but another vineyard with another bit of the land. We've put some clover for some reasons. So yeah, I'm just bud rubbing, easy peasy. Sorry if it's a personal question. Is this a full-time job? No. Keep throwing the questions. I'm loving the questions. This is my full-time job. This is all I do. Or not this particular job, but being at a vineyard is all I do. Yeah, I mean, obviously, look how much there is of it. You know, there's a lot of work to do here. So yes, I can't really do anything else. So yeah, this is my full-time job, and my dad's full-time job, and my mum's full-time job. And my wife does a bit of part-time, but she does work here as well. So again, you just see all these over here. I'm just going to get rid of just a few of them because there's a few too many, and they're in weird positions. There we go. So yes, full-time job. It's not a money earner. Again, I keep saying this just to get everyone's facts in check. I do not make much money, but I love my life. And so that is enough. So Mr. Average Husband understands that because he changed jobs recently, or left his job in pursuit of happiness. And sometimes it's not always about money. It's about what you do with yourself. It's a way of life, exactly. And we're very happy. We understand what sacrifices we're making here. But also we are very aware of how lovely it is sometimes. So, yes, if you are vaguely interested in this is a lovely life and I do recommend it. But do not forget how hard this potentially is. Again, there's tons of little stuff here. You see all these? Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that. That one's going there, that one's going there. There's another one under there, so let's get rid of that. These are all fine, I think, or there's one random one under there. So you see this little guy. Little tune-ins, let's get rid of that. There's a few too many. Thanks for the shout out. It's about enjoying each day. Yeah, exactly. No, I remember you, Mr. Average Husband. I try to remember everybody. So, yeah. If work is most of your life, you need to enjoy your work. I think you need to enjoy your work. Sure, you can get away with it, just earning money, just doing the minimum, but I don't think you'll be very satisfied with yourself. Whilst I'm very proud of what we do and what we have achieved, and that is all I need personally. For me, it's a sense of pride. I really need to feel like when I leave this world, I've done what I wanted to do. And this, in a way, is part of that. It is sharing passion. It is sharing an alternative way of life. it is spending extra time at home, being in the countryside, fresh air, healthy, eating well. That is what I value. Just me. I'm not saying you have to, but I encourage you to possibly feel the same way if you can, because that's good. If I win a couple of millions in the lottery, I might consider this. Yeah. Well, the thing to say is that how do you earn a fortune in wine? We start with a fortune, and then how do you earn a small fortune? You start with a large one, and then you buy a vineyard. Is the phrase. So this is not a money maker. You cannot expect to earn tons and tons of money doing this. Please do not expect to earn tons and tons of money doing this. But I think it's fair to say you can expect to be very happy. So, but yeah, it's decent. It's all right. You got to go. Keep the streams. Bye, Nemo. Bye. Thanks for tuning. I'm really close to affiliate now. God, we must be there. We must be there, chaps. So that's really cool. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let me just show you who you're speaking to. You are speaking to me here in the vineyard, having a lovely day. So, just chilling. Yeah, that's why you need to have money before. Exactly. And the thing is, a lot of people who go in wine all had, you see all these down at the bottom, by the way? See all these little bits and bobs? Don't want any of these. These are all wasted bits of energy. Let's get rid of all of them. Yeah, you need to have a decent job before this. My dad had a good job working in finance. And that's it. What you do is you get bored of doing the office job and you go, well, I'm going to do something else. And that's what he did. So let's choose between all of these up here. That one's looking nice and strong. That one's looking a bit weak. I might get rid of that one. Those are looking strong, but that one's looking a bit weak. But then there's nothing going this way, but that one will. So let's get rid of this one. And these are kind of thought process you're going through in a very simple way. It's not that taxing, but there is thought going into it. This looks so incredibly beautiful. Yeah, it is. The vineyard, not necessarily the ponytail. Thank you very much. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, the ponytail, the little man bun. How very modern of me. I swear, actually, it is just laziness. If I get to tie it up, it means I don't have to go to the hairdresser. If I don't have to go to the hairdresser, it means I'd have to leave the house. So it's all intentional. So now I'm going to do both sides, because now we're doing both. So I'm going to be twice as slow, because I've got to look at twice as much. You guys tell me if I miss anything. It's quite easy to miss things, but we'll keep doing this multiple times. You don't just do this once. You do this whenever you go out. Whenever we're walking the vines, we'll spot something and go, nope, not you. Just getting rid of all these little bits. Those guys possibly looking fine. Maybe not that one. Let's get rid of that one. Da-da-da. So anybody got any news? Anybody like to say anything? How are we doing all these little bits? Look at them. Look at them. Oh, look at him. Don't want him. Oh, far too big. Oh God, horrible. No. So, I gave myself a haircut this week. Okay, so can you describe it to us? What hair did you have before? What hair do you have now? And is it one of those that's worthy of like Facebook BuzzFeed post or something? When you get affiliate, is that when you get subscribers? It is, I believe. Again, I've only been doing this 2 weeks. I am not a pro. I have not been watching this forever, but that is when you can start to add subscribers. So a lot of people ask me, like, what is the purpose of this channel? And on a bit of it is, can I get a small little extra source of income? It's a little small bit, and again, it's not going to pay my bills, but if it's an extra tenner a month, that's an extra bottle of wine a month, which is all right. And again, it's not about selling my business per se. This is not me saying go buy my wine, because you're all in different countries, and I doubt you can buy my wine, but it's more of just this marketing, education, kind of doing something good that I get a kick from, in a very kind of listen to me talk kind of way. There we go. I went from overgrown business cut to the guy who missed the chopper in Predator. I'd come see your stand-up show. I think it sounds funny. Get to the chopper. Look at all this stuff. God, you stupid plant. Stop being so stupid. So stupid. Stupid. Again, I wouldn't really do stand-up. I'd do talks. I guess you'd come hear me do a talk, and I'd come see you do something stand-up. I think we're looking good. Anything else? And I'm just going to be doing this for a while, really. How often do you have to do this task? This is very much a seasonal task. So this is only relevant right now because these have only started to grow right now. Again, you don't always see these because these will grow into massive things. So we'll have this job. I mean, looking like they are, we'll have this job for maybe another couple of weeks. And then they're going to start to grow into really big, hefty pieces of growth, which is exactly why I'm doing this, that when they get bigger, when they get more mature, it's really hard to deal with. So if I get them now, you can just see how easy these things are coming off. Yeah, in maybe 2 weeks, these will be really hard to get off. I'm going to have to get some like secateurs. And that's when it suddenly becomes a bit more of a task. So this is very seasonal, and we'll do this as much as we can over this little period. Whenever we're walking up, we'll just spot and we'll go down a row and we'll give it a go. So there we go. Oh yeah, you had your TED Talk lined up, so everything during the season. So I mean, the season never ends really. A lot of people say like, it's more about what's the job now. It's not what are you doing in the vineyard. It's what exact job are you doing in the vineyard. It always changes. So we've done the pruning, which is why they're looking pretty neat and tidy and not that much stuff. And then now this is called bud burst, when they go from tiny little buds like that. They go from that to that in this period, bud burst. But I'm doing bud rubbing because there's too many buds. That's one job. But there's just tons of stuff. Again, I don't really do so much of the vineyard work. This isn't my main task here. This is if I haven't been outside enough and I haven't been moving and I feel like I want to be outside, or there's often something to do in the vineyard, and I'll just ask what job's happening right now and say, right, your bud rubbing. It's like, okay, good. Where am I going? Because also it's a big vineyard, so I need to know where I'm going in the vineyard. So I know I'm here, and also I'm doing this because I'm tall. These are quite tall vines, so they suit some of us. They don't suit others. So I want to keep that. Let's get rid of those. So every day during the season, it just never stops. And again, that is one of the negatives of this job, is that you could work every single day of your life and still not run out of things to do. Which is, again, quite nice. I don't get bored. So I had a friend asked to come see me this morning, and he just said, can I pop over now? It's like, no, I'm doing something. And again, like, I work at weekends, and I can get like midweek off, which is pretty cool. But I've always got something to do. I can't just like drop things because there's always something happening. So that's all bits. We're good. So blah 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 blah. I shared your Twitch on my Facebook. Lol. Some of my Facebook friends is interested of this, I'm sure. Nice lad. Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, this is super niche. What we do, what I'm talking about, is niche. It is potentially very boring, but for the people that care, this is really unusual. And again, I think in the wine industry, not many people share this stuff. They don't really show you their lives. They're all very secretive. They want to show you like the nice posh stuff, but not what goes into it. Well, for us, we're the opposite. I really want to show you what goes into it, because that's the interesting stuff to me. This is why my wine costs so much, because look at how much work it is. It's so much work. So this is what we're doing. Nice lad. I just shared with family. I'll share during my trivia tonight. Usually get around 20-30 viewers. I think many winemakers want to keep the secret. Yeah, they do. Yeah, it is quite a secretive, non-friendly thing. There are a few people that are very nice, and the people that we work with are nice people, but a lot of them are keeping trade secrets. And the thing is, this is a hard industry. This is a complicated industry. So really, we could actually do with knowing stuff. We could all do with sharing a bit of knowledge. So we will see. But yeah, don't tell anyone about this. This is all super top secret. Or not. It's okay. La 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 la. La 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 la. So I'd also use this time to listen to podcasts and things, kind of get a bit of extra knowledge, get a wine podcast on, get nerdy, listen to people talk about wine, all things, and yeah, don't really waste the opportunity. My dad and mom, they prefer the silence in the vineyard. But I like to see it as a time to do other little things, like I'm streaming right now. I think I'll do a lot more streaming if I'm here, because it's quite easy to do, really, just chatting. Last night I tried to get Jay to raid you again, lol, but he didn't want to. You were part of the Jay thing. Oh, that's fine. No, don't worry, it is not about asking. I'm really not here to get super famous, and I'm not pushing super hard to get affiliate. It would just be nice, but it's not about that at all. Too much growth. Was it 2 days ago? I can't remember. No, that's fine. No worries at all, my guys. Absolutely fine. Na. Look at all this stuff. There we go. That's, for the new person that's joined, this is where we are. Chilling in my vineyard here in England. Just again, show you who I am. Voila, this is me in a nice white t-shirt to get all the rays off. It's very warm today. It's going to get cloudy tomorrow, and it's going to rain the day after, so I'm enjoying the most of the sun. There we go. And I had a lovely wine last night. So I got this data. I'm in the vineyard because I got data. And last night we did a English wine tasting, like a discussion about our industry. And it's all about supporting other producers and talking in general, rather than just a big marketing exercise. It's a find a reason to support somebody else. So I bought another person's wine, and there's a vineyard down south who I'm interested in, and they showed that they were selling some of their stuff, and I went, oh, okay, I'll buy some. So I bought a case of their wine. Again, no deals, no like kind of vineyard to vineyard stuff. It's just I bought your wine, and I had a glass of their rosé. I had a glass of my wine as well, because it's crazy not to talk about our own wine when we do these things. And very nice, really nice rosé. I mean, I'm surprised they called it a rosé. It's more of like a light red wine. But yeah, I did a bit of that. Again, just all of this growth. Too much growth in very random positions. I don't want it. Are those caps on what looks like branches you cut off? What do you mean? Sorry, I'm noticing this somewhat green cap. So, where? Wait, what? Those caps on what like green branches you cut off. Imagining you are limiting bad growth. Exactly, yes. I'm getting rid of this kind of unnecessary growth. Are those caps on what looks like branches you cut off? Oh, yes. Oh, so, yeah, there might be... there. So, do you mean this? Do you mean that? So that is... So, yeah, those are some big cuts we made. And that's something we learned, that they look like very big wounds when you do it. And part of the thing when we painted them... So that's just paint. It's actually just normal, like acrylic paint. The idea was to stop disease getting in and kind of protecting it. But actually then somebody else told us that you should do the opposite, that you need to let it out so you can kind of let all the badness out and let all the moisture out. So there's this kind of, and that's why it's so important to share information, because everyone's got opinions and nobody really knows the answer. So if anybody has some good knowledge, that's great. So first year we painted, second year we've kind of left them free. So you're going to see a little bit of a mix of that. So yes, there we go. So good spot. And that was something that we tried and then did something else based on what somebody else said. Did you notice the difference? No, not really. So you can see like this year we've done a bit of cut. No, it's a bit hard to tell. Some of these things are very... If you're not in the vineyard at the right moment, or if you don't see that exact plant. So... No, it's quite hard to tell these things. I mean, nothing's gone terribly wrong yet, which I suppose is a good thing. So like you see a huge cut that we haven't painted. That's a massive piece of wood. Painting versus not painting. Yeah, I mean, firstly, it's just extra work. If there's anything that takes away extra work, that's always good for us. But no, we haven't noticed the difference. The main bit of notice would be that if the ones we didn't paint got disease, that would be the thing to notice. But no, we haven't spotted any of that. I mean, we might see something as we go. We'll see. You never know. All these vines are old and very different, as you can see. And this is where our vineyard's different, is that because we're old, it's not perfect. All these modern ones are very kind of done by GPS, and they're all perfect, and they're perfectly aligned, and They're all a bit kind of manicured, and some of our vineyard is like that. But these particular guys, because they're old, are not. They're all different. Every single vine's different, and some vineyards come here and say, oh my God, like, what are you dealing with? And it is a bit of that. These guys are a lot more work compared to all of the other vines. These guys are mental. Oh God, you see these little bits up here, a bit unnecessary. Do I want both of those? Probably just have. See, that one's going to be in the... Oh, I don't know. What do you think? That one's looking small and runty. Let's get rid of the small one. So, chili. So who else is in chat? Come on, there's a few more people now. So, come on. Speak out, folks. Who are you? Where are you? Where are you in the world? Why are you listening to a winemaker? What brought you here? Maybe you just saw the vineyard and went, oh, that looks pretty. Let me know. I want to know who you are, who's in chat. Do you keep expanding, planting more rows? So we spoke about it, and we spoke about it very seriously, because that is the easy thing of how do you make more money? Well, you make more, but then it kind of starts to scale out of control, and it's a very tight machine we have here. As soon as you plant more, then you need to work more, and then you need to get a vineyard manager here, and then you might need another tractor, and then you need more people doing this job. But then not only that, be making more wine, so then you need to expand the winery, and then you need another winemaker, or I would have to do all of my stuff in the winery, not do any of the marketing and none of this. And then not only have you work more in the winery, but then you've got to sell more, so you've got to sell even more. And then maybe it's a really healthy ecosystem that we've got right now. And as soon as we change something, like something will go wrong. And so we're trying to stop that. And that's how a lot of businesses fail. They get greedy and they just do what they think they should, but actually they do the wrong thing. So right now we love our size. It is just about manageable. It's a lot of work, but it is manageable with what we do here. If we changed any of that, it wouldn't. And so we'd have some really big issues. So what we're trying to do instead is to do better. What we're trying to do is the tourism, the quality of the wine, the education, and we're trying to make sense of what we've got, improve what we have rather than do more. So we've been replacing some bits, but only replacing, not doing any more. You see all these little bits up here. These are all unnecessary. Don't want any of those. So yeah, there we go. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, tell us your personal information. If everything is perfectly aligned and look the same, it's not very natural, is it? Do you save the bottles from every vintage? That's an interesting one from a sustainability point of view. Yeah, it'd be absolutely lovely to save them. The problem is the bottles get dirty, or there's a little crack that you can't see and it lets bacteria in. And there's also the case of you've got to get the label off everyone and put it back on, and then you've got to make sure it's absolutely hygienic. So it ends up, again, linked with all that stuff I've been saying. It's more work than it's actually possibly worth. Some people do it, and we are still kind of considering it, but it's a bit risky, and there's enough risk in this job as it is. So we kind of don't want any more risk. So no, we don't at the moment, but we're looking for, again, a sharing of information to see if anybody does do it and has decent results. Because this is our livelihood. If something goes wrong, like, I'm buggered. This is how we make our money. So look at all this little extra stuff. We don't want any of this. Too much stuff. Go away. So there we go. So yes. And yeah, the vintage is the year, if anybody's confused what vintage means. Vintage is literally the weather from the start of the season. And the season starts as soon as you really pick the grapes. In the winter, everyone focuses on when they start to grow. So right now these guys are growing. But it starts when they're dormant, and you want a nice cold winter to kill off all the disease. And that's what we noticed in some winters, that 2019 was a very warm winter. It didn't get to freezing, there wasn't really a frost. And so we started the year off with some disease because they weren't killed by the cold. 2018, was wonderful. Again, you'll hear me talk about 2018 a lot because it was just the best vintage you could have ever hoped for, and the first year we really started to do this. And it started off with snow. This vineyard was covered in like 1.5 meters of snow, and there are some photos on my early Instagram of this place covered in snow, and it was just stunning, absolutely beautiful. It was Narnia. It was just dreamy, and it was our first winter here, and we had so much snow. We don't really get snow in the UK, so it was really special. So yeah, that was pretty fantastic. There we go. Just told my amazing wife about the 150-year-old port story. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I only had a couple of drops, but that was pretty sweet. So yeah, I've tried some lovely wines. Again, that's just part of the perks of what we do. One of the coolest things, that guy was saying that I've drunk 150-year-old port, and the bottle sold for £3,500. And there's this very famous port maker, and they were in their cellars, and they knocked something down, and they found a hidden wall, and they found 2 barrels hidden in their cellars that they didn't know existed. And it was coming up to a really big anniversary for the business, so they decided to bottle them. So there were 2 barrels, and they bottled one of the barrels, and then used all these barrels to turn into bottles. And we were selling it. I used to work at a wine shop in London, and we sold one of these, and I got to taste it, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was really interesting. More than anything, because tasting history. The taste was, as you'd imagine a 150-year-old thing tastes, to be honest. But it was more, the story, I get to say that. So it's more about that, really. And I said, if we ever bought a home in England, the first thing I'd do is take down all the walls so I can find really weird shit you can constantly find. My luck would just be some bones and royalty. Yeah, it's because we're old. The house we're living in is like only 50s and 60s, so that's not very old. My old house, actually, that's an interesting one. The place I used to live in before this was really cool. It was 1200s. It's a 1200 farmhouse, and it was made of like mud and wood. Those kind of mud houses, and it's a protected building, and yeah, that was really amazing. So yeah, imagine if we had like a weird cellar-y underground thing with some steps.